Please be aware that this video will contain spoilers of the second season of From. In episode 7, season 2 of From, we discovered that the monsters appear to have a human anatomy upon dissection. However, in the case of Smiley, all of his organs appear to be desiccated or dried up, as Christy noted, which makes one wonder how they even functioned to begin with, or whether they were just puppets of sorts, which may have been alluded to with the presentation of the ventriloquist puppet in this season. This possibility will surely have very interesting implications, and we now have more evidence that the monsters may have been human before, and that normal people could turn into monsters. We can reference Jasmine's words from season 1.
It wasn't my choice to be this way.
The interesting thing about Smiley's dissection, however, was the discovery of bile, the only fluid that was found in his body. In the same sequence of events, we also saw Marielle vomit, and it looks like her vomit may have also had yellow bile in it, which wouldn't be too unusual, especially while fasting and going through an opioid withdrawal. These are little details that the producers may lay out quite deliberately. The yellow bile just so happens to be another symbol of purification in alchemy, and a substance that, if refined, was believed to lead to spiritual transformation. And it now seems more likely that the creators are heavily drawing from alchemical symbolism to illustrate the show's themes, like I explained in my previous analysis. Additionally, yellow bile is also associated with the element of fire due to its transformative and purifying qualities, as well as gold, alluding to the transformation of base metals into precious metals or gold that the Philosopher's Stone can produce, according to legend. Lastly, yellow bile was considered to be one of the 4 humors that influence behavior, with yellow bile being responsible for impulsive or choleric behavior. And yep, we call that pseudoscience. Another interpretation of this alchemical concept is that the Philosopher's Stone can elevate or transform the individual into an ultimate form that transcends both the physical and spiritual dimension. Now, you may be wondering what specifically may be next for the monsters and for Smiley. If my observations are truly sound and the producer's creative work here is influenced by alchemy, it does make sense for fire to play a crucial role in this season, in some shape or form. And we know there is an upcoming episode titled Magic Ball of Fire. We can also see references to the other 3 essential elements in the show playing key symbolic roles, such as water or the illusion of a flood or cleansing, as well as earth, noted by how Donna mentions that plants are just dying as if the earth was poisoned. With this last comment just being interesting, when we know that the worms are supposed to make the earth fertile, but the earth now lacks fertility. Yet, we have Fatima in the same scene who claims she couldn't have children before, but is now pregnant. Fatima is fertile. There is an incredible level of crisscrossing among all these different themes and references in the show, and I deeply feel that the creators of the show and this show itself are highly underappreciated for how intricate and granular this creative work is. Even by examining Fatima's clothing in this scene, we can see a consistent presentation of flowers, a very superficial detail. As explained in my season 1 analysis, flowers are symbols of the Norse goddess Freya, who is associated with fertility, love, magic, and even cats. This theme appears to be embodied by Fatima in many ways, and these associations are all over the tapestry and even wallpapers in the town. Another thing to note here is Fatima's necklace that appears to be a protective charm made of fire beads, and also another necklace with a ball or sphere hanging from it. I'm always hesitant to make predictions, but I wonder if all these symbolic allusions to fire line up with the title of episode number 9, Magic Ball of Fire, with one of my favorite possibilities being something coming from the sky, or star magic. And when it comes to the yellow bile that Boyd is trying to weaponize, my suspicion is that its effect might not be the same as that of the worms themselves, since the bile is supposed to be a refined element within this context. So if used as an agent, I wonder if it might not kill the monsters, but cure them, if that's at all possible, or something else. Another observation is that someone mentioned in the comment section of my last video that the ballerina apparitions or visions in general might actually be warnings that contain clues on how to overcome a problem. And after this episode, I think that theory might hold some water, with Elgin being almost drowned in a bathtub by what looked like a corpse, or maybe a witch. The drowning part and the many allusions to water will surely make sense from that context. and we've also explored the connection to the Basque witch trials in previous videos. Even if there are no connections to witches, drowning might very likely be a key element of the story. I'm curious to see where these visions will lead to in the upcoming episodes. And one quick question before we leave. Do you think Fatima's dress looks a little similar to the one the corpse is wearing in the last scene of the episode? Could this really be Fatima? These are just some of the top highlights for this episode. I've left some of the other observations for a longer video that will take time. What are your thoughts about these interpretations? If you're new to the channel and would like to see more content, please make sure to hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and hit the like button. Till next time.